Hey guys, so today I made this really super simple goulash. It is so easy to make and it's for the most part pretty quick to make, and it only requires 4 ingredients. Yes, 4 ingredients. Well, 4 ingredients plus salt and pepper, but whatever, it's still really easy. So just stick around and I will show you how to make it. For today's recipe, all you're gonna need is just some elbow macaroni, a large can of tomato soup, a pound of hamburger, and some onion. I'm using the dried onions, but you can certainly use a fresh onion if you would choose to. I just don't have an onion on hand, so I'm using the dried ones. And then salt and pepper to taste. Alright, so the first thing that you're going to want to do is get a little bit of water or oil into your pan. I prefer using water to cook my hamburger, whatever, it's personal preference, I guess. Now, since I'm using the dried onions, I'm going to go ahead and put them in now so they have a little time to soften up and whatnot. And, I don't know, I really don't measure it, I just kind of throw them in there, and I don't know, it's probably about 2-3 tablespoons, something like that. And let those cook for just a little bit. Next, you're going to add your hamburger. And this is just 1 pound. So go ahead and add that in. And get it all cut up so it's in small chunks. And then you are just going to go ahead and cook the hamburger all the way through so there's no pink. Now that the hamburger has been cooked all the way through, there's no pink in there, I'm going to go ahead and put some water in there so I can cook the noodles. Now, it's important that you make sure you have really hot water that you're putting into the pot, because if you have cold water in there, sometimes you'll ruin your pot. So just be careful. If you're not comfortable doing this, that's completely fine. You can either just get a different pot to cook the noodles in, or you can, empty that one out, let it cool down a little bit, and then put the water in. But I'm going to go ahead and put it in there and then get it boiling, and then we're going to add the noodles. Now the water's in the pot, and I'm just going to put a lid on it here and wait for it to boil before I put the noodles in. The water isn't going to hurt the meat at all. And actually, a lot of times people cook their chili like that, is they'll boil the hamburger instead of cooking it like we did. You don't have to worry about draining the fat at this moment, because we're going to drain the noodles and everything once the noodles are done cooking. So it's really going to be fine. You can just put the water and everything in there. Everything will be fine all together. So yes, we're going to wait for that to boil, and then we're going to add the noodles. I forgot to add, while the hamburger was cooking, I just added in some salt and pepper. Again, it's going to be to your taste. Alright, now that the water is boiling, I'm going to go ahead and put in the noodles. And I'm just using the Great Value elbow macaroni. I'm only going to put in about half, because it's just going to be me and my husband. And it doesn't look like it's going to be much macaroni, but these things really plump up when they are cooked. So you will have plenty. If it's just for 2, just go ahead and add half of the box. But if you're going to do it for like a family meal, then I would add the whole box of noodles. Also, just for the 2 of us, it's just going to be 1 can of the tomato soup, the 1 big can of tomato soup. But again, if you're going to make it for a family, then use the 1 big can and then 1 small can of soup, and that should be plenty. And depending on your preference for meat, you may want to put in another pound of hamburger, but I'm not that big a fan of hamburgers, so if I'm going to make it for big people, I still just use 1 pound, or maybe 1.5 pounds, but I wouldn't go overboard on the meat. So Now that the noodles are in here, just cook them to the box directions. Get them boiling for a little while. These, here, what did these say? This says cook for about 9 to 11 minutes. So we're going to let them babies boil, and then we're going to drain. Alright, now the noodles are done boiling. They've been in there for about 10 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and drain them. Be very careful. Do not burn yourself with the steam. I just dumped everything into a strainer into the sink. Alright, now while waiting for those to drip out, just go ahead and add in your tomato soup. Make sure you get everything out of there. And for this recipe, you don't want to add any kind of water or any other kind of liquid, because that will dilute it and make it taste kind of nasty. So, alright, now all of that is out of there. And the only reason why I put that in there first is it just gives it a little extra time to get a little warmed up. It's not really a necessary, vital part that you do that, but... Alright. Now we'll go ahead and put the noodles and the hamburger back in. Make sure you get all them onions and everything in there too. Okay. Now all you're going to do is just mix it up. Alright, and that really is it. You want to just go ahead and give it a taste test to see if it's going to be salty or if it needs any salt or pepper. You know, and that's it. I mean, that's super simple to make. It's pretty cheap to make as well. Just really easy, and it's really, really good. My mom used to make this all the time. I'm going to go ahead and make some garlic cheese bread with it. It's from Schwann's. It's nothing homemade, but that stuff's really good too. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you try it, because it really, really is really super easy. If you like, it actually kind of tastes a lot like lasagna. So if you like lasagna, you're definitely going to like goulash. But yes, so thank you for watching, and I hope everyone has just an awesome day.